being convicted for this. Like I said, I don't hold the jurors responsible for this. I am what I am.
Hey, so let me ask you guys a question. Let's say you suspect a crime has been committed. And I'm going to use the example of, I don't know, breaking into a convenience store and stealing some Twinkies. And you spend a lot of time trying to convince all your friends and family that this crime was real and it happened. The only problem is there's no evidence. There's no evidence that anyone actually broke in, no broken window, no broken doors, and 0 Twinkies were actually missing. So let me ask you, what would you do? Because in this example, if you were inspired by 71-year-old Harry Waite, you'd break into the convenience store yourself and maybe steal some beef jerky and Twinkies too, just to show people that someone else might have or could have committed a separate crime. And of course, you did it all for the love of Donald J. Trump. And Harry Waite, if you aren't familiar, he's a 71-year-old conservative activist in Wisconsin. And his organization has spent years insisting that the Wisconsin elections are riddled with fraud, that Trump won the 2020 election. He did not. He lost Wisconsin by 21,000 votes. Multiple audits confirmed it. And Waite keeps trying to tell everyone that the mail-in ballot system in particular is wide open to abuse. They didn't find any signs of that abuse. But to prove his theories, Harry Waite went on the internet in 2022 and committed election fraud. Specifically, he used the personal information of a Republican state assembly speaker named Robin Voss and the Democratic Racine mayor, Corey Mason, without their consent, to request that their absentee ballots be mailed to his address. That, by definition, is identity theft, and it is also election fraud. It is, in the most beautiful possible way, precisely the crime that he claimed Democrats were committing. He actually received Mayor Mason's ballot. He turned it into authorities. He called a press conference. And then he was charged. And he went to trial. And the jury deliberated for just over 3 hours and found him guilty on 2 misdemeanor counts of election fraud, guilty on 1 felony count of identity theft. And Harry Waite, obviously remorseful, told the local news, "I would do it again," because he claims that he tested the system and the system failed.
When you poke the bear, you get that type of outcome. Yes, I would do it again. I tested the system failed.
The system failed. It detected his fraud, arrested him, prosecuted him, convicted him, and now has him facing up to 6 years in prison. By most definitions, the system is working. But now he's somehow a MAGA hero. Makes total sense to me, I guess. Because Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin called Waite a white hat hacker when this started in 2022. We have not heard yet back from Senator Johnson on the conviction. And this is just the second time in recent months that a prominent conservative election fraud activist has been convicted of election fraud. An Arizona Republican who worked for Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, pleaded guilty to election-related fraud in November. The face of actual election fraud in America, I want you to keep this in mind, per the courts, is not who Trump told you it was, but we tell you exactly who it is committing the fraud if you subscribe and hit that notification icon. It's the very people who are claiming the fraud happened, the people who love dear leader Donald Trump. So when you subscribe and you hit that notification icon, we are going to tell you about it every time this election fraud comes up.